The lost city of Atlantis. For centuries, this legendary island has captured our imaginations. A utopian civilization with advanced technology, swallowed by the sea in a single day and night. But what if I told you that Atlantis wasn't just a myth? What if scientists have finally pinpointed its real-world location? Get ready, because the story we're about to uncover is even more incredible than the legend itself. It all starts with one man, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 BC, he wrote about Atlantis in his dialogues, describing it as a powerful island nation located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar. He painted a picture of a magnificent city with concentric rings of land and water, grand temples, and a powerful navy. For thousands of years, people have searched for this city everywhere, from the Caribbean to Antarctica. But Plato left us another crucial clue. He said Atlantis was destroyed in a cataclysmic event, a violent act of nature that sank it into the ocean. This detail, this catastrophic end, is the key to unlocking the entire puzzle. For a long time, scholars dismissed Atlantis as a fable, a moral tale Plato invented to talk about the ideal state. But in the 20th century, a new theory emerged that changed everything. It didn't point to a mythical continent in the middle of the Atlantic, but to a very real place in the Mediterranean. The island of Thera, known today as the beautiful Greek island of Santorini. So, what's the connection? Around 1600 BC, nearly 3,600 years ago, Thera was home to a massive volcano, and it didn't just erupt. It exploded. This was one of the most violent volcanic eruptions in human history. An event so powerful it makes Krakatoa look like a firecracker. The explosion was catastrophic. It blew the center of the island completely apart, creating the giant, water-filled caldera we see in Santorini today. The sky would have turned black with ash for days, and the sound would have been deafening for hundreds of miles. This is where the story gets really interesting. Santorini was a major hub of the Minoan civilization. The Minoans were a sophisticated Bronze Age culture based on the nearby island of Crete. They were not warriors, but artists, sailors, and traders. They built incredible palaces, like the one at Knossos, with advanced plumbing and stunning frescoes. Their cities were unfortified, suggesting a peaceful and prosperous society. The settlement on Thera, now being excavated at a site called Akrotiri, was a perfectly preserved Minoan town, frozen in time by the volcanic ash, much like Pompeii. Archaeologists have found multi-story buildings, intricate wall paintings, and advanced drainage systems. This was no primitive village. It was a thriving, advanced outpost of a great civilization. The Minoans fit Plato's description of an advanced culture in many ways. They had a powerful navy that dominated the Aegean Sea, not for war but for trade. Their art and architecture were unparalleled for their time. Plato described Atlantis as having a rich and fertile land, and the volcanic soil of Thera would have been exactly that. He also mentioned that the Atlanteans worshipped bulls, and bull-leaping imagery is one of the most common motifs in Minoan art. The coincidences are just too many to ignore. But what about the part where Atlantis sank beneath the waves in a single day? The Thera eruption provides a chillingly accurate explanation. The collapse of the volcano into the sea would have triggered a colossal tsunami. Imagine a wall of water, possibly hundreds of feet high, racing across the Aegean Sea at the speed of a jet. Geologists and oceanographers have modeled this event, and the results are terrifying. These mega tsunamis would have slammed into the northern coast of Crete, the heartland of the Minoan civilization, which was only about 70 miles south of Thera. Evidence of this ancient tsunami is being discovered all over the region. Scientists have found layers of volcanic ash, pumice, and chaotic marine deposits far inland on the coasts of Crete, Turkey, and even Israel, all dating back to the exact time of the Thera eruption. These deposits contain a jumble of shattered pottery, building materials, and marine fossils, swept up and dumped on land by a massive wave. For the Minoans living on the coast of Crete, it would have been an apocalypse. Their coastal towns, their farms, and their entire fleet of ships would have been obliterated in a matter of minutes. This single event would have been a fatal blow to the Minoan civilization. With their navy destroyed and their coastal agriculture ruined, their economic and political power would have collapsed almost overnight. While the main island of Crete didn't sink, the civilization itself was effectively washed away. Over the next few decades, the weakened Minoans were eventually conquered by the Mycenaeans from mainland Greece. The memory of this great, powerful civilization that vanished so suddenly would have been passed down through generations. So how did this story reach Plato? The eruption happened about 1,200 years before Plato wrote his dialogues. The story likely traveled from Minoan survivors to the Mycenaeans, then to the Egyptians, who were major trading partners with the Minoans. The Egyptians were meticulous record keepers. In fact, Plato himself claims that the story of Atlantis was told to the Athenian statesman Solon by Egyptian priests, who had preserved it in their temple records for centuries. Solon then passed it down through his family until it eventually reached Plato. Of course, stories change over time. It's like a game of telephone played over 1,000 years. The name might have changed from Minoan or Thera to Atlantis. The location might have been exaggerated, moving from the Aegean to the vast, mysterious Atlantic Ocean. The size of the island and the scale of its power could have been embellished to make for a better story. Plato was a philosopher, after all, not a historian. He was likely using a real, historical catastrophe as the basis for a moral allegory about hubris and divine punishment. He took the kernel of a true event, a powerful, advanced island civilization destroyed by a natural disaster, and wrapped it in a philosophical narrative. So, when we look at all the evidence together, the picture becomes clear. We have Plato's description of a powerful island nation. We have the Minoan civilization on Crete and Thera, a perfect match for that description. We have the Thera volcano, which exploded in one of history's most violent eruptions. We have the archaeological proof at Akrotiri of an advanced city buried in ash. And we have the geological evidence of a massive tsunami that devastated the heart of the Minoan world, causing its rapid decline. The legend of Atlantis isn't about a lost continent in the middle of the ocean. It's the distant, distorted memory of a real historical tragedy, the fall of the Minoan civilization, triggered by the cataclysmic eruption of Thera. The lost city wasn't lost, it was buried. And its civilization wasn't sunk, it was shattered by a wave. Santorini isn't just a beautiful tourist destination, it's a crime scene. It's the smoking gun for one of history's greatest mysteries. The real Atlantis has been hiding in plain sight all along. What do you think? Does the Minoan theory convince you? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. It's a fascinating topic, and it really shows how history and geology can come together to solve ancient puzzles. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the past, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into history's greatest mysteries. We'll see you in the next video.